Hi, John Dwyer here, and by now, given that this is module number 8, you probably know me as JD rather than John Dwyer. I'm being very formal every time. Hi, John Dwyer. Since I was about this high, the initials, John Dwyer, JD, have just rolled off everybody's tongue, so I'm referred to as JD. I'm also referred to as Dickhead and a number of other, less attractive sort of things from time to time, but we won't go there. Okay, so this is module number 8, and this is all about free publicity. So let me bring this up on the screen, and it's all about how to get free publicity. And as I said in promoing this module 8 at the end of module 7, is that we are all used to marketing our products or services by spending money, either spending money on a TV ad or radio ad or newspapers or pay-per-click advertising on Facebook or Instagram, or maybe paying someone to do SEO services for our website, and so on and so forth. Outdoor posters, all sorts of things. So isn't it just a nice surprise when you come across an opportunity where you can get free publicity for your products or services? You don't have to pay for it. And I'm about to disclose to you how you can do that and what techniques you need to use to get the attention of people who can provide you with free publicity. So let me just bring up the first point. Journalists, okay, from newspapers or TV or radio or online publications, they're always looking for interesting content, okay, not boring content. So let me just underline that, interesting content. They're just humans, but you know what? There happens to be a criteria, particularly in the journalistic world, if there's such a word, journalistic world, that the story needs to be interesting. They don't really care that you've just opened your 12th outlet. That's not, a mind-boggling story. That's not something that a journalist, they've just opened up their 12th outlet. They're not really all that interested in the fact that you've just employed a new operations manager, Fred. They don't care. So therefore, the point is that it needs to be something that's got some oomph to it, that's got some newsworthiness to it. So therefore, journalists are always looking for interesting content, so become a storyteller. You need to tell a story. And you're saying, well, how do I do that? Well, by a media release. And that media release can go to the offline publications like newspapers and magazines and offline media like TV and radio, but it can also go to a whole bunch of online publications these days. For example, I'm involved in a tour of quite a well-renowned American speaker coming to Australia in the next month or so. And I'm also speaking on that stage. Now, this particular gentleman has quite a name. It's a globally sort of known name. And I'm involved in helping fill seats for those events. And so therefore what I've done is that I've gone to online publications, which are business publications, because this particular guy speaks and sells his programs to business people, just like I do, okay? People like you who own or are thinking about starting up a business. So therefore, in the online world, there's a whole bunch of publications that have huge databases that talk to business people. So I've put together a series of media releases, and I'm sending them out to the journalists who normally cover stories about business. And I'm saying to them, listen, there's a great opportunity for anyone who owns a business to actually grab hold of the mantra that this particular expert is bringing to Australia. And I then go on to basically talk about what he's predicting. He's a futurist, okay? So he's talking about what will be happening to shares and what will be happening to real estate, what will be happening to gold, what will be happening to cryptocurrency, and all these things that are, on people's minds. Now, when I send out the press release, I won't say, oh, look, this guy's coming to Australia and he's holding these events and, you can get tickets there. But no journalist is going to print a story about that, online or offline. But if I actually have a headline where it says, Fred Smith predicts that real estate will crash, values will crash by 30% this year. Oh, and by the way, stocks are likely to crash 80% before a certain month. And then I talk about this guy's predictions, and basically there is a way to avoid paying throughout all of these things should they happen. Then there's a good chance that journalist is going to write that headline. You see, the point is that you need to either be provocative or you need to have invented something to get free publicity. Really that simple. You need to be provocative or you need to have invented something. Unless you were promoting a big Hollywood movie and you're a Hollywood star, which unfortunately not many of us are. And so in this instance, because this guy's a futurist and he's predicting what's happening to stocks and real estate and oil and gold and all that sort of stuff, pretty easy to have a sensationalistic headline to get not just the journalist's attention, but also when the journalist prints this, online or offline, to get the consumer's attention, which in this case happens to be business people. Now at the end of basically all of this scary news will be, oh, by the way, this guy happens to be in Australia in 3 weeks' time, and he's appearing at this, that, and the other. If you wanted to, get tickets to it, just go to blah blah blah.com. Now the journalists normally play fair, and they realise if you've given them a sensational story, something which is a good story, then they will, generally speaking, give you that outro of highlighting where you can see this particular person. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay, don't think that they're going to be interested in this guy just holding a few seminars. They will be interested in some of the dire predictions he's making about the value of stocks and real estate. Now, number 2, ensure your media release is newsworthy. I've just said that, and it shouldn't look like an advertorial. An advertorial is pretty much, what would I say, a media release or a story which is really flogging something. It's really selling something. So it might be the latest ab swing, for argument's sake. And you might think you're clever because you put a headline on there is that brand new revelation of how to build muscle in, 4 weeks. Yeah, that's borderline in terms of being attractive to a journo. But as the story gets in, from paragraph 2 onwards, it's talking all about your product and the fact that you've sold X million of them in the United States over the last 6 months, and that Jane Fonda has used it and some other movie star has, and all of a sudden you're starting to bring in the website URL, and you start to bring in all this commentary from people, maybe famous people who've used it. All of a sudden the journalist is going to shut down. He's going, whoa, hang on. That is not editorial, that's advertorial. You're flogging something straight away. So you've got to be very careful that it doesn't turn into an advertorial piece. It needs to be something that's newsworthy. As far as this is concerned, appropriate media, it's all about message to market match. Okay, it's all about you making sure that you have the right message to the right market. So if you, for example, have a product that might be a health and well-being product, might be a vitamin program or might be something of that nature, and your primary audience are women who might be 35 plus, then you would make sure that any press releases or media releases that you send out online and offline are going to be to publications or media that has that audience. So for example, you wouldn't send out your health and well-being media release about a brand new product which is, reduces not only fat but also lines around your eyes or whatever it may be. You wouldn't send it out to an architectural magazine. You wouldn't send it out to a boating magazine or to a prestige car magazine. You wouldn't send it out to any blokey magazine whatsoever. It would go to a women's publication, online and offline, because they're going to be half interested in that if it's a story, not editorial, if it's a story. So it's all about making sure you send it to the appropriate media. That's called message to market match. The easiest way to get publicity, as I said before, is to be provocative, or invent something. Now, most of us don't invent things, and so therefore being provocative is probably the way that you might like to consider. Gordon Ramsay, he's a publicity machine. He's provocative all the time, and his Hell's Kitchen TV shows and all that sort of stuff demonstrates that. He's always provocative, so wherever he goes, free publicity follows. Number 4. One thing that you might like to think of when you're putting together your media release to send out to the appropriate online or offline media, and that is, are you the newest? Okay, are you the biggest? Are you the smallest? Are you the first? I'm looking at my laptop here. Have you won any awards? Have you invented a solution to a problem? Have you broken a record? Any of these things here. And so therefore, really, if you want to know how to run your business like Disney and how to use Disney customer service techniques, then make sure you don't miss this next module. See you there.